understanding is that you have some universal standards which are important to have with respect to ethics, as well as to understand the essence of mediation as a bridge building and an inclusive solution generating exercise. But there are also many differences which are influenced by the respective cultures and by the type of political conflict these mediation efforts try to address. And therefore I think what we need is both. We need an intelligent combination of universal standards on the one hand and sensitive integration of what is needed in the respective cultural context.
In the ASEAN region, there has been an apparent greater acceptance on the part of many member states of the role of neighboring states coming in as mediators with the help of other organizations like the Organization of Islamic Conference or some other regional groupings that have helped actually set the stage for international peace mediation.
I think all ASEAN member states agree that peace is a public goods. It is something that has to be taken care of and agreed upon by all member states. As you said, the ASEAN itself is a process of an example of the peace process in this region.
Mm-hmm. This to us is where we should all put our shoulder to the wheel, because with the support of the European Union, I think this will inspire others in the region to think of welcoming mediation not as an interference on its internal affairs, neither is it giving up any part of its sovereignty, but a practical mechanism by which we are able to solve serious problems.
The fact that having a third party involved in dealing with a conflict in ASEAN or in one part of ASEAN place, in this case is in Aceh, has actually bring a positive impact instead of a negative impact. That is Aceh at the end is being resolved, and it's a good model when you compare to Kosovo and or other places.
I'm very much in favor of a multiplicity of approaches. I can imagine there are situations where the parties are so much hostile to each other that you have to work primarily with outside mediators.
In the cases of, let's say, southern Thailand, or in Mindanao, or in another part of Asia, where experiencing the conflict or violence right now. And Aceh could bring a lesson of, first, the third party involvement can bring a positive result. Second, the negotiating with the arms group can bring peace. Third, using non-military approach actually much more sustainable for our society.
There are other conflicts where I think it is sufficient if the insiders are doing this kind of work of mediation and bridge building and see the outsiders as their backstoppers and those people who give them advice and support.
And it is not uncommon for us, for example, for us to negotiate in the Philippines with the communist rebels, and a country so far off like Norway has something to do with me as a mediator. Those are not unthinkable things nowadays.
collaboration, but then maybe some energy should also be put into enhancing the capacity of the links and the networks here in the region itself, because then if the networks and groups here are stronger, then they can present a better partner for the EU partners. Otherwise it will just be like a top-down or an asymmetric kind of relationship.
I mean, there are some areas where the local and the regional initiatives fail to perhaps meet all the criteria or the international standards, whereby the international engagement would be much more beneficial. So where the co-responsibility lies between these different levels of engagement, I think really it would be interesting to further look at.
Fact is that in Asia we have quite a couple of interesting networks of activists whom one could describe as peace change makers. I'm thinking it might be an interesting idea to explore how one could bring together officials and interested representatives from ASEAN and ASEAN member states with some people from these networks, and invites key people from both sides to have an exchange about experiences, lessons learned, insights in our field, because that could make the collaboration concrete, or the perspectives of collaboration concrete, and would take it beyond the classical ideological divide. Here we have the world of states, and here we have the world of the civil society actors.
There is this notion indeed that the EU and ASEAN are, as I put it always, similar organizations, that they have in a number of areas aim for the same things, and that mediation is mediation and peace is extremely important.
Today, I think the stage is being set, wherein the perception is that each of us have a responsibility in the world community. And there is no country too far off or too unrelated, quote and unquote, to our own existence for us not to be able to participate if we can, if we are invited, and if we have the capability to do so, to solve some problems. We are our neighbor's keeper. Many people don't realize that what happens in far distances actually has an impact on us.